All right, there being 5 members present of the Conservation Commission, I'm calling to order the May 17th, 2022 meeting of the Rutland Conservation Commission. Everybody's present, but just so everybody knows, we are going out on Zoom, as you can see here. We are being broadcast live on channel 192. We're being recorded. We will be rebroadcast on both our channels, and we'll have a file up on YouTube in the next couple of days. I think that's all I have to announce for that. We will do roll call votes, just because I think that's the best practice for these days, especially for the people who are remote who can't see us. But other than that, we're moving ahead. So let me share that, which brings up. Oh, come on, hit the right button, please. There we go. All right, so we're going to start with the minutes of May 3.
Motion to accept as written.
There we go.
Second.
It's a race for seconds, I know.
He beat me.
Roll call, start over there.
Delacour, aye.
Langer, aye.
Clock eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Crane eye. All right, so we're going straight into notices of intent. We're going to continue the public hearing for the notice of intent for Sean and Shannon Keene on Turkey Hill Road, Lot 6A. I know we spoke about this last time. Is anybody here for the applicant today?
That's supposed to be Mark. He's supposed to be trying to get on Zoom.
Oh, well, he's not on Zoom yet. Then I'll tell you what.
Skip over, go to the next one for now.
Yeah, I was going to say, the biggest thing, yeah. We still don't have a DEP number anyway.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Oh, we do?
Yep,
Yes.
you
Oh, there's the
last
DEP number right there. Oh, that's right, with all their notes, the way I already spoke about. If you do something different, do something different. Something I said a lot last week. So the thing is, I just reopened it.
Do you want to review the notes from the minutes to remind you what?
No, it's not that. I just, because I've already done the official, you know what? I can just suspend the hearing.
Just pause it.
Just continue.
Yeah.
Just continue until later in this meeting.
Yeah,
Give them a chance to get up to speed.
yeah, that's fine. So instead, we're going to reopen. This is supposed to be a Julian, isn't it?
Yep, I
And he's not here.
Should we
There's
reopen
still
it
no
yet?
DEP
What are you here
number
for, Tom?
anyways.
So I can probably answer that. That's kind of why I'm here.
Oh,
So, Pleasantdale, we did not get a DEP number yet.
oh, okay.
But later on, and we can stay in order, 6 and 8 Woodside, we did get DEP numbers.
All right, well, those are gonna have to, we haven't even opened those hearings yet, so we'll have to get to that one. But we don't have anything for 323 for Pleasantdale?
Well, we did it last time. We were just waiting for the DEP number and it hasn't come in.
Right, that's what I'm just asking. Is that all, that's still all we're waiting for is the DEP number?
Yeah.
Correct.
All right, then let's get a motion, continue that for 2 more weeks.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Gentilucci, aye.
Clock eye.
Langer, aye.
Delacour, aye.
Crane eye. All right, that knocks one out. So let's open a public hearing for the motion for a notice of intent for the Islam family at 315 East County Road. Anyone? This is the right. Yes, that's East County.
John Marshall.
John, hey, you're here.
I am here.
Fantastic.
Can you hear me?
Can you actually let's see if I can. I don't know if you can get a little closer. You're a little soft.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try and speak a little louder.
There we go. That's fine.
My name is John Marchand from Farland Corp. Here on behalf of the applicant to present the notice of intent, the plans for Mr. Islam is hoping to subdivide his property to create a new building lot in the back of the existing single-family home. As you can see on the plan, a portion of the site is a wetland resource area bordering on an intermittent stream. And a portion of the proposed driveway, the proposed work, is within the buffer zone to that wetland area. We're proposing a 12-foot wide gravel driveway, and then the grading and clearing associated with that driveway is the work that we're proposing within that 100-foot buffer. We have maintained a 25-foot no-touch buffer, so all the work would be between 25 and 100 feet.
Are these grade changes, fills, or cuts?
Those are fills there, and fills up front as well.
Okay.
We maintained a 10% maximum slope.
Right. And it looks like all that you're in, that the driveway is the only thing that's within 100.
Correct, yep. The house and the septic are all well outside the 100-foot buffer.
Questions or comments from the commission?
No.
Sounds pretty
Yeah.
easy.
I got one.
Up.
So for erosion controls, is it just wattles you're proposing?
Right, I think at the last hearing, you had mentioned adding a silt fence
Yes.
and making that a condition if needed.
Yep, that's right, we did talk.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to bring that up again. That's my only.
Do you have a DEP number? I don't see an email about it.
I don't, we,
No,
It's
'cause
nothing in
this,
the
last Friday.
this
we did not,
DEP is for Woodside, it's not, right, so we don't have one for this one. Okay, so we have to
Right.
continue no matter what. But if, oh, there's Mark, great. If there are no other questions from the commission, I will open this up to the public. Does anyone in the public have any questions or comments about this?
Can I ask one?
Sure.
Is there any chance?
Please,
we-
name and address just for the record, please.
Oh, Charles Gove, 309 East County Road, Butter. Is there any chance we can have vegetating screening so we don't end up looking at the house?
That is outside of what we can condition,
Okay,
because we can only condition the interaction with the wetlands.
understood.
Which side
I
are
was
you
gonna
on?
say, which, yeah, this is Fitzgerald.
As you're looking at that on the left.
On the left, okay.
Yeah. I'm not concerned about the driveway going in. My concern is at the house. And seeing how we're just gonna talk about water, as far as volume is concerned, it's not going to change, will speed change the way the water flows?
Fast answer, probably not. This is well, if these are all fills, there's a little more water coming down right here, but it's all gonna run right into here, and so the total volume of water isn't going to change.
No, I agree. But is it going to flow faster?
Again, this is not being an engineer, I can only give my best guess, but because this is a steeper slope, well, it is more sloped than it was before. The slope is changing, topology is changing a little bit. But again, looking at it, the water's going to want to flow more in the wetland, and that won't change.
Oh, the
And-
flow, wait a minute, Pete, bring that back down a minute. The flow,
Because flow's gonna go,
it's going this way.
well, on,
1100 there, you're at 1095 there.
on the yes, on the driveway, it's this way, but the natural, if you ignore that, if you look at all the surrounding, everything grades this direction.
Yeah,
So this 12-foot wide driveway is, we'll just call it a level surface for the sake of argument, but this is definitely going to go,
it's going towards the street.
Goes to the
But
street,
it's not
then it
coming
turns
this
around.
way.
well, this will go, anything that stays on the driveway will tend to go towards the street. But everything that's off the driveway is as it is today, and it flows towards the wetland.
You're concerned about flow this direction?
Correct. If you bring that, can you bring that down further?
Sure.
No, the other way. All right, hold it. So you get the left rear corner. So I have my driveway is close to that boundary, so to speak,
Yep.
and I got a culvert that goes underneath. So the question is that volume's not gonna change, but is speed gonna change?
In this area,
Yeah.
I don't see how it can.
Okay.
The wetland itself is gonna be should, practically speaking, always be the lowest point. So water's always gonna flow towards it. So that will certainly be true on this side, but neither volume nor velocity are going to notice it. There might be a small instantaneous change right next to the driveway, but I don't think it'll be noticeable.
Okay.
And everything else that flows along this route or along this route, it should not increase at all because this land is all being left alone. These dark lines are where things are changing. If it's these narrow lines, it's exactly the way it is
Yeah,
today.
it is.
So
Yeah.
that's not going to change.
Okay.
Now, I can understand his concern because
Yeah.
his grade is going the other way here.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
All right, so who do we ask about the vegetating screening?
Talk to the
Um,
engineer.
Is, what a butter is concerned about the screening? I'm sorry.
So Mr. Gove, who's on the, I believe that southerly side, if I
Yeah.
have my orientation correct on this map?
Yeah,
Okay.
southeast, southeast.
So the back of the house there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I could certainly talk to the applicant and see what he'd be, I'm sure he's,
I mean, I'm not looking to get crazy, but do you have the map in front of you? Do you have the plan in front of you?
yes.
Okay. Towards the backside, behind the house, there's a dark spot there. I don't know what it's saying.
What, this one?
Yep.
I believe that's the well. Yeah, that's
the
Okay,
well.
that's the well. So if you can go in your farthest part of excavation, or where your wattles are, going to the left, to about where that line is, down farther to there.
Mm.
Bring it back up a little bit. Right from the well to where his marker is.
Peter, that line you just hovered over,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's the proposed tree line.
Yeah, I believe.
Correct. That would be.
Well, I don't know if it's a tree line, it's the limit of work. I think.
Yeah, that would be the limit of clearing, the proposed limit of clearing.
So I admit I don't know what this looks like. It looks a little steep, so I'm not sure how forested, if I can use that term, that land is today.
I mean, right now,
I said I already saw it.
what's that?
You already know what that's like right there now.
I mean, right now, we wouldn't be able to see it because the leaves are on the trees.
Right,
But as soon as fall time comes, that's all wide open.
okay.
I mean,
So you're looking for something like a,
a hemlock tree or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, 4 or 5 feet apart.
yeah. I don't think it's an unreasonable request. I mean, we can't condition it, we can't tell them
Okay.
and make them to do that. But I certainly think you could negotiate with them. And I think,
Yeah,
most
I
people
think-
try
I
to
think
be
we
good
can
neighbors.
Talk to the homeowner and work something out for screening.
I mean, if you could do something like that, I think that would be, we'd be happy.
Sure.
And again, he can transfer hemlock trees, move them in there, or arborvitaes, or whatever he wants, decides to do.
Right.
Just something reasonably native.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Other questions or comments? Yep. Alrighty. Let's see. I think anything? One last chance. Anybody from the commission?
Nope.
All right. Like a motion to continue till. I think I said 2 weeks, but it's 3 weeks, isn't it? To June 7th.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Delacuilla, aye.
Langer, aye.
Clock eye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Crane, aye. All right, thank you very much.
Peter, would you like to
Thank
go
you.
back to Mark?
Yes, now that I see that he's online. So, I am, as I've said, going to reopen the hearing for, gosh, I've forgotten the address already, for the Keens on Turkey Hill Road, Lot 6A. Mark, you can hear us?
Yep, I can hear you.
Great. So, last time we talked about this, I'm actually gonna pull up the modified erosion control plan that we talked about last time. Thank you for providing that. In paper
Yeah,
as well.
so
we
this
have it.
plan moves the erosion control line and extends the limit of work. And then we also added the 15 plantings as requested. And those are the two changes.
Great. Where does it talk about the plantings?
There's a note.
There is a note. Oh, that's why. I'm much too blind to read that.
Just see it says 15 native species.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
To be planted within the 50-foot buffer. Yep. Great. I see we have a DEP number. Oh, this is the one we looked at, that's right. We've already looked at this once today before you joined us, Mark. If you do anything else, do something else, note from DEP, fine.
Yeah, that's a new pattern I'm seeing.
Questions or comments from the commission?
Nope.
Questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, what do we need for specials? Do we need any specials?
No.
Just the notes.
Okay.
Just what's in the notes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, should we make any of those conditions? I guess is the right question. Do we want to condition the 15 plants or consider the note sufficient?
The note's sufficient, and it's written on that, so it's
Plan's
fine.
fine, it's covered.
We satisfied with the erosion controls, which I know I've seen.
He's got Waddles and silt fence details.
Yeah, right.
So we're good there.
All right.
I don't think we need this.
Any reason not to close this hearing?
To inconvenience Mark.
To punish him?
To punish Mark.
Motion to close the hearing.
Make a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Well, thank you.
Guys aren't being very nice tonight.
He was late. He deserves to be punished. We can do that to him.
Thank you for not bumping me to the end.
I didn't. I'll second.
As long as Tamika's got somebody for the motion in the second. Roll
No,
call.
Skip had already seconded.
Skip it a second.
I'll skip second. Okay.
Yep.
Delacuilla, aye.
Langer, aye.
Clock eye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Crane, aye. Motion to sign the standard order of conditions for this property.
Make the motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Chancelucci, aye.
Clock eye.
Langer, aye.
Delacuilla, aye.
Crane, aye. Moving on. There you go, Mark. Easy, huh?
Yes, thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye, Mark.
night. So we've already continued this one. We've just processed that one. So now let's go to 6 Woodside. So I'm going to open a hearing for a notice of intent for 6 Woodside Ave. Tom, I believe you're here for this.
So hopefully my part is just to tell you that we have DEP numbers for both of those.
And this is one of the ones. They either go into a long paragraph how anything you change you need to notify and do this, or no comment. This is the latter.
All or nothing.
This was a Friday. Come on.
Look at the date. It'd be kind of great to see a really big one on a Friday.
What's the date?
I can probably just scroll up here.
Just curious. That would
May
be.
6.
It was on a Friday.
Hey. So it's all timing. Get it in there so that it hits their queue at Friday at say 4 p.m.
There you go.
So Julian did review this with us last time. So I'll ask the question, any questions or comments from the commission?
Nope.
I think we talked last time about his detail, didn't we?
I think so.
But
But
adding
let's
something,
mention it.
although I think the erosion control is already in place around this, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we walked that.
Right?
How's it look?
Actually, was this?
How long, how mudlogged is it?
A mudlogged is what?
The erosion control has been sitting there.
We'll talk about that in a little while.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's get another comment
okay,
further down.
okay.
So this one, this control is absolutely in place. I don't know that all this is in place.
Some of it was. No, it was.
Yes.
Yes.
This one was also?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was, yep.
Because
Goes
I
out.
remember the one much further down around the detention pond. But if you say that you remember there's one here, I'm willing to believe that I just don't remember.
Pretty sure it was. That's
So
what we
it
called
went all the way out to 122A.
Yeah.
Okay. Other questions or comments? Do we want to specifically condition?
We probably should,
The
just
silt fence?
because it's not shown on the detail, just to be safe, but knowing it's already in, it's not a big deal. But yes.
True.
It'd be good, just to cover us.
Questions or comments from the public?
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
is this the detention pond they are talking about?
No. Nope. There's a detention pond over here, and there's a detention pond over on the next property that we'll be talking about next, actually.
Okay.
So this is just, post-construction, this will just be, looks like it's got riprap in the swale.
So I believe that is where the detention pond is. And that's a low flow channel.
The detention pond, hold on, is right here. Because this flows into, I'm pretty sure,
So it flows out of the pond into a riprap area.
This is the other lot.
so this whole, right, so I'll go
Correct.
back to, so this whole thing is a detention basin?
Correct.
The pond is using that to get rid of water.
They're shedding the water off through that riprap.
Through the riprap.
So it's not really a detention basin per se.
Right, exactly, it's not. Not if that's what it
It's
does.
just a dispersion channel.
There's gotta be something like that, because this is the stormwater channel. This is the stormwater channel, so it all comes off the road. And there, by the way, Jared, is the answer to our question. There's a link up here and a link further up the road. So this does act as a detention basin. And I don't understand what the,
Well, Quinn would have already reviewed all of that.
yeah, they would have, that is true.
And this is showing finished condition.
Right.
What we saw is
Yeah, oh,
construction
clearly,
condition
yes.
is different, so.
I
Because
just-
actually, the outlet, temporary outlet right now is over at the, I guess that would be the southeast corner,
Yeah.
right? Whereas it looks like the finished condition, it actually discharges to the north. Behind 8 Woodside Ave,
Mhm.
which we'll get to. on the
Right.
plan.
It's basically trying to keep it on the lot rather than,
I still don't understand the purpose of this.
It's a
For lack of-
low flow channel. So in smaller storm events, the water will stay within the riprap and flow through that. And larger storms, it'll build up. in
Okay,
the
so
basin.
large storms, that's when it actually
Yeah,
acts as a
yeah,
detention.
yes.
So, okay, all right, I get it now.
It's a Flintstone infiltrator. How's that, Peter? That work for you?
It's actually, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's an exposed infiltrator.
All right, fair enough. Other questions or comments? Any specials?
Just the one.
Just the silt fence?
Just the one.
I think that's good.
Since we have the DEP number, any reason not to close this hearing? Motion,
To close.
Second.
roll call.
Hawkeye.
He wasn't looking. Gentilucci, aye.
Langer and I.
Don't go out.
Great eye.
I wasn't looking.
You just don't care. There's a difference, Peter. He just doesn't care.
You think I don't know that already? I'd like to open a public
No,
hearing.
you'd have to issue the
Oh,
orders.
sorry, thank you. Like a motion to sign the order of conditions for this, for 6 Woodside with the one special.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Gentilucci, aye.
Hawkeye.
Langer and I.
Don't go out.
Crane eye. So now I will, honest to goodness, open a public hearing for notice of intent for 8 Woodside Ave. Yet another single-family home that we talked about, well, introduced last time that Julian did for us, which is fine. Where is the 100? Oh, there it is. There it is. So the entire house is in the 100. Oh, no, it's not. The 100 splits the house.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So is this yet another detention basin that's fed from this?
No. So that's just the outflow.
That's just the outflow. Oh, because the wetlands are right here, so it's just gonna
Yeah.
flow right there once these erosion control areas are gone.
Correct.
Okay. Questions or comments from the commission?
I think the same special condition for the silt fence. We gotta get Julian to add that to his detail.
That's
He
right.
won't need any special conditions.
He wants to feel special.
I know. That's fair. That's fine.
Questions or comments from the public?
Where is that new detention? You know, it used to be underground, now they're bringing it above ground. I thought it was right in this area, right here.
Correct. So that's what you're seeing up there.
Right, so this is the edge of the detention basin that we just spoke about on that other property. And that exists today, right? It's in
It's in-
construction state, it's not in
Right.
finished state, but it exists.
Correct, correct. It's in temporary state.
Yeah. Is this gonna be an entire berm, I assume? And then you just have the,
Yes.
What's your,
Is that clear to you?
what's your question? I'm missing something.
Well, I was just trying to see where the water was coming from, because you're so close to the Wentworth property. I thought it was further up the hill.
So further up the hill are infiltrators.
Yeah, and you're eliminating one of the infiltrators. Clea was in and had the plans changed.
I don't know that the infiltrators were changed. The pond, the shape of the pond was changed. And that did go through, Carl has reviewed that.
I thought that was about for the one that used to be part of phase 2 that got moved out to phase 4. That one changed. I didn't know that, I don't remember
So-
this one changing as well.
I'll date myself a little bit, actually, seeming like I'm young. So, phase 4 had a detention pond, it no longer does, and it went to phase 2. So
Okay.
phase 2, the pond increased in size.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Eliminating the need for one in phase 4.
Yes.
So that is part of why for the road acceptance, detention pond at phase 2 was not included,
Right.
because it is gonna be part of 4.
Okay.
But that's not this one.
Correct.
Right.
So I'm trying to understand.
Well, so am I, so I'll have to get back to Dave and find out exactly what that was that came before us at our last meeting. Because it's something about it, it's,
So you think an infiltrator went away from phase 3?
well, he said in Holden, they don't allow infiltrators
Right.
down there. And
Yep.
that's why he was eliminating this one here, because who's gonna climb in the, or try to get the pipes cleaned out and all that, so.
Okay, so I know where the confusion is. So where this pond is designed, it was gonna be 4-foot diameter pipes in the ground.
Yeah.
And that was the concern. And Joe Buckley had the concern if those pipes ever plug up, that's not under his jurisdiction. So that would mean all the drainage would back up into the street. So at that time, he was leaning much more towards a pond that you could pay attention to and see. If it's underground, how are you gonna know the pipes are filling? You're not, till there's a problem. This way, it's a exposed pond, so it's easy to see, can be maintained. If there's a problem, you're gonna know about it long before there is a problem.
Right, so
So
then
that is
the
a
answer is,
pond.
Dick, that is this pond.
Okay.
And it's not terribly far away from Main Street.
Mhm. Correct. All right.
Yes.
Because,
As you go in, you go by the pump station a little bit further.
Yeah.
The first house on the right.
first house is the lot, is the other one, this is the
Correct.
second house. Correct.
So it's behind those two, which is the current location of the temporary pond.
Not jurisdictional related to this hearing. What's the first house number that's effectively complete on that side of the road? Is it 6, 8, 10? Is that 12? 10?
On that side of the road, that is complete.
Yeah.
So,
Well, okay, let me ask the question differently.
Under
'cause I-
construction,
Well,
because I think the first one on
maybe
the
I should
right
say
isn't
nearing
actually done.
completion. Yeah, you're right, it's nearing
Outside
completion.
is
I think it's
done.
got siding up, but I doubt it's occupied.
all right, I might be able to help you and I might not, and the reason is street numbers and lot numbers. So I know everything in my world is lot numbers.
Right, so this is 98R.
And 99,
Yeah, and
Is
99,
next
which
one.
we did get, so it'd be 90, so is 97 or 96R? Which one is,
so right now on the right, 97 is framed,
yeah,
96 is framed, 95, they're just completing framing, 94, someone's living in it, and
that's
93,
the
I
one we
believe
saw, so we
someone's
saw
living in it.
94. Because that's the one that had the carpet over the, on the deck, not the
Oh.
dark, towels.
Yes.
Okay. Just
that
trying to relate
Does that help?
state of
Yeah.
basically where the houses are versus these guys. That's all I'm trying to understand in my own head.
So
Thank
these
you.
would be the first two.
Yes. Any other questions from the public? Anything else from the commission?
No.
We have a DEP number, which is, as I recall, another no comment. Congratulations. Uh-oh, that was a mistake. I'll go back to that later. Any reason not to close this hearing?
No, I make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Roll call.
Gentilucci, aye.
Langer and I.
Delcoy.
Crane, aye. We need a motion to issue, we have one special for this, right?
Yes,
The-
same one, silt fence.
So, somebody make the right motion, please.
I'll make a motion to sign.
Second. Roll call.
Gentilucci, aye.
Langer and I.
Delcoy.
Crane, aye. All right. Now, I know I just closed one, which was a terrible mistake, an error. I apologize. But that's not a hearing, that's 2830 Finn Park. All right. So I'm going to take these out of order because we have some people with us who are on the agenda, but who have to go to another meeting. So in order to get them to their AgCom meeting in time, we're going to pick up number 3, soil importation into nominally Jordan Dairy Farm. So we've gotten reports of many, many trucks, large trucks of dirt and rocks, et cetera, coming in. Do we have a letter on this? We don't, do we, Tamika?
What do you mean?
A letter on,
Did I send them a letter?
no, oh, I guess you did, didn't you?
I did.
That's 48 Fin.
I didn't upload it to the drive.
Oh, that's why, okay.
But
I
this
I know I
is-
didn't remember seeing it. All right, fine. So, our concern, as you know, with the wetlands nearby and with other practices that have occurred historically, we just wanted to make sure that there, how do I want to say this?
Make sure nothing's happening.
Yeah,
It's everything's status quo.
that's a good way to say it.
Well, it's closed out. The original
Right,
is
so,
closed.
the,
So that's a non-issue at this point, right?
They made their final inspection
Right.
about a week ago, and so I was just waiting to hear that DEP did finally sign off.
So,
Oh, wait a minute. What I said that was, when I said the issue is closed, that would be only on Randy's property. The original project that was done,
Yeah,
that's closed. There's nothing else happening there, right?
with the exception that DEP has
No.
not signed off.
No, no,
Answer his question. His question is yes.
that's the question I'm asking. There's
The
nothing,
the answer is yes.
there's nothing else happening on Jordan Farm.
No.
Nothing happened there.
Okay,
Everything is all
that-
been done.
that was the first
that was
question.
our understanding. We
Right,
just,
that's
just
the
making sure
understanding
that
we
we
got
understood it.
from DEP, that issue's done. There's no more. So now if there's other filling or anything going on in another area that's not Jordan Farm, then that's what was causing us concern. We weren't concerned so much about Jordan Farm as we were about all these other trucks coming in and wondering where they were all going.
Okay, you, go ahead.
All right. Randy Jordan, 51 Muscatog Road. All right. I'll answer the question that's being asked right now. I'd like to go over some of the things that were said at the last meeting to clear it up so everybody
Yep.
understands what's going on, right?
That's great, thanks.
So the question is, the accusation or questions that came in, there was, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Clark, because Mr. Clark said this, was there was trucks on Wachusett Street coming into Rutland, allegedly off of Route 2, 190, etc., coming in per Mr. Delacroix. I watched the Zoom 16 times today to understand what was going on, right? So, the answer is, did anyone see that truck turn down Overlook Road or Muscatog Road with dirt? Nothing was said in that meeting, right? First and foremost. So, that's like saying a fire truck going down Main Street, is it going to Four Corners because the burgers are on fire? But
Oh, Randy, hold on a minute. No one here, to my knowledge, saw any trucks doing anything. Okay, it was a complaint that came in from Princeton.
can I
That
ask,
trucks were coming through Princeton. And the supposition from Princeton was that they were going, because of past history, they were heading in your direction. All
So
right?
this
No one here made a statement saying we saw trucks going on to either one of your properties. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, it's your turn.
so first and foremost, can you listen to a Princeton person complaining here to the town board in Rutland? Is my first question. My second question is, who is that person? Was it in writing, or is it a,
I have no idea who it
do I have the
was.
right to ask who that person was? And that's like saying, I'm in Main Street in the center of Holden, right? There's nothing saying that truck from Princeton, right? Could have been going to your house, Joe.
It could have been.
So
I'm
I
100% agreeing with you.
we haven't done dirt on that site for 2 years when Peter was there to do his final walkthrough there to do
Randy,
it. So why would we even?
Randy, we're not trying to make a big deal. Nobody here wants to make a big deal out of it. The thing is, all right, somebody in Princeton, and I do not know who that is, all right, because I had no direct contact with anyone in Princeton.
Someone on your board knows.
I don't know that for a fact. all I can tell you is what I know. All right, and that person, all right, and I'm kind of dragging this out a little bit, supposed or got the idea because of past history that there's no other place that truck could be going. You follow what I'm saying?
I understand.
It's an unfortunate circumstance that existed in the past, all right, that doesn't exist now, all right, but because that's what was going on in the past, this person or persons, I don't know who they are or who he or she is, because I don't even know how many, all right, made that supposition saying, it's gotta be going to Jordan's. It's going over there someplace, all right? That came here, all right? All we said was, we thought that was done. And if you watch the tape of that last meeting when it was discussed, all right, no one here was pointing a finger. All we did was say, let's write a letter and find out what's going on. All right? And we wanted to verify with DEP.
Absolutely.
And that's all it says is an ask. Hey, what's going
That's
on?
all-
And
that's
nothing is
all it
nothing.
is.
Actually, I'm gonna put this on my fault because we really should have done this completely just in letters to say, it is our understanding that the project is done, is this correct? You would have said in writing, that's correct, the project is done, and we wouldn't have even had to meet. That's really what we should have done on this matter.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm partly concerned that you folks are a busy committee. Obviously, you have a large agenda here. Why are we wasting time, in my opinion, on a hearsay that a truck drove through Princeton with Boston plates? We don't know what color it was, but somebody was willing to take pictures to find out what color that truck was. But it wasn't like it was going down the road. So how are we wasting your time to say, hey, there was a truck in Princeton. We assume it's going to Jordan's, even though there hasn't been one there in 2 years. Now that it is, right? Now, let's first and foremost, if a truck was driving in Princeton, which it wasn't going to Jordan's, right? Mm-hmm. If there was a truck in Princeton and it was going to Jordan's and it wasn't as dirty as the dirt was there, it can go there. I don't need a permit from DEP to do that if I choose to. So how many house lots are being built around town that dirt goes in every day, right? Where I'm concerned is you're wasting time listening to someone's concern from out of town, first and foremost, right? Secondly is you're busy. Third, I shouldn't be here. I should be either spreading the smelly fresh air product right now. But in turn, where I'm going with this is we're wasting a lot of time that shouldn't be wasted. I agree with you on your letter that, hey, are you doing anything over there? And if I said yes, we're bringing in 3 loads to level out a low spot, so be it. You would have been happy with that answer, right?
That's exactly.
You haven't seen 100 trucks on 68 where this all started 10 years ago that everybody was concerned with, right? And we jumped through those hoops with you. So I'm sorry that I'm a little bit hotter than I should be, but I think this town or other towns could have people that can mind their own flipping business and worry about things that really make a difference in life than worrying about dirt coming into Jordan Farm. We hauled 75 loads of manure over there the other day getting ready for corn, right? Did someone call and complain about that because of trucks? No. Do I haul some solid manure over there from time to time that we can't spread through the digester? Yes, we do. We didn't drive through Princeton to get there. So, I answered your question. You can ask me next time, and I'll go on my rant here in a little bit more.
And just as far as I'm concerned, I just wish you people would just come on over and say, hey, can we take a look? I'll be more than happy to drive you down or go down with you to show you. You know, I have nothing to hide.
I would urge you, Randy, if you get the chance, to look at that the recording of our other meeting.
Joe, I watched it
Oh,
16
did you?
times
Okay,
since 5 o'clock today.
All right,
I have notes and I have answers
Okay.
of some of your questions that were on there
okay.
that I would like to address as well. So if we want to talk about watching the tape, I have that.
So, through the chair,
Yes.
and I'm not picking a fight or anything, Randy, but this this Conservation Commission is supposed to be protecting the water for other people. It goes through Rutland into the reservoir and all over Massachusetts. And that's what we're watching out for. We have to, in my opinion. If I'm wrong, you guys on this board tell me, and I'll be glad to step off this board and let somebody else take this place.
I believe one of your comments, Mr. Clark, and I'm not looking here to pick fights, but I just watched the tape, is I am sorry for the people that are receiving the water where the dirt could be going. Something to that. That's not
Yeah, I
verbatim,
probably did say
but that is similar
I
to what
probably
you
did
just
that.
said there, right?
Yep. I
The
probably
city
said
of
that.
Worcester, as Mr. Lindgren said, watched that project closer than anybody else. We got a handful of dust, right, in my opinion, that went on some wet leaves over there that had ran from our property over to that direction of the property, right? A handful of dirt. That was siltation that ran off. They asked us to clean that up. We did that, right? So if you think there's contamination going that far, we got bigger problems than that, in my opinion. I give you credit for looking out for the city of Worcester's water. I give you all the credit in the world. But if you see the money that has been spent over there on what's being done to protect that, and DEP has that third party, what's his name, Paul McManus has been the third party inspector to come in and look at it on a regular basis when it was open and it was signed off. That's all being done. There's a test well over there. I mean, we are not, I don't drink the city of Worcester water, but you know, we're not out to.
No, I didn't say you were. Didn't say you were.
No.
Oh, but jokingly, I did tell Paul McManus, we're all set on phase one, we're gonna start phase two of the dam. And he said, what? I said, the town of Rutland needs another water supply, so we're gonna dam off Muscatog, so the city of Worcester can't get it, and Rutland's gonna pump it up into there. Anyways, jokingly. But when I first heard this, that's what came to my mind. I said, oh my God, he took it for real. No, we're not doing anything like that.
Next. What else you got?
Do you have other questions for me? Would you like to?
I do not. Please, continue yours.
So do I have a right as a citizen to ask who that resident was that showed a concern? Or is that, it wasn't stated in the meeting that it was an unanimous, it said a resident of Princeton had concerns. Am I entitled to that information?
I'll say I did it. It was me. How's that?
So you saw a truck and you just, you didn't see it
I
pulling?
didn't say that. I said I was the one that made the complaint.
So can I ask another follow-up question on that? And I'm not picking a fight, Skip, right? You and I talked about this at the town meeting,
Oh, yeah,
right?
I did.
And I told you I'm 50 years old and I'm all done fighting in life, right? And I wish this hadn't come up and I hadn't received a letter from Tamika to be here, in all honesty, right? And I wish we had
And
gone about it the
What
right
did I
way.
tell you at town meeting? Do you remember what I told you at town meeting?
I don't remember, Skip, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I had-
No,
I think we were
I
all
told
working
you-
together.
I told you not, I wouldn't even worry about it. Just tell them that nothing's going on.
I believe that, you are correct.
Exactly.
You are
Exactly
correct.
what I said to you.
But we had a letter from Tamika,
Yeah,
so
all you had to do is give her a text or give her a call and say, hey, Tamika, there's nothing happening up here.
Well,
no, that's not what the letter asked.
the letter
We asked him
asked
to
them
come
in.
to
I didn't
appear.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
asked him to come in.
That's fine.
I didn't see the letter,
That's fine.
sorry.
So just to clarify what you just stated there, you had the concern the resident in Princeton doesn't exist?
Right.
Okay. So, well, I guess I'm a little disappointed in regards to that you didn't call either Dick or I. As you know us personally, I realize you were kicked off the property when you did it, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment to clarify that here.
I didn't argue with you or anything now, did I?
No, you did not, right?
I
So,
left like you asked, and I got.
so in turn, I thought you or the chairman could have made a phone call and say, hey, what's going on? And we could have saved everybody a lot of time and frustration. In regards to, you stated in the thing that you were not able to be there for the closeout, that the owner, Randy Jordan, asked you to leave
When did I say that?
in the meeting.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
It
Joe
did
said
happen.
he didn't show up
And it did
because
happen.
of
It
the
did
similar
happen.
situation, right? So you
Yep.
stated that.
Yep.
I just would like to go on record is why you were asked not to be there. It was never stated, but back when, I can't tell you the day, but I watched that video a lot of times, that you, and I believe Joe was there, with Channel 4, doing a news thing about the trucks coming in and allegedly dirty dirt, right? Nothing ever came of that, other than it cost me $50,000 to keep my name out of the mud. That nobody came back, nobody called the news station and said, "Hey guys, we made a mistake. The dirt's okay. Yes, it's coming out of Boston, but it's clean." Or whatever you call that dirt that's cleaner than the dirt that's there. I don't know those proper terms, right? But that's why you were asked not to come, because you brought the news station there and you were being filmed there, and I didn't think it was fair to me or Mr. Williams to have you on that property to potentially do harm to us in regards to that. Just to clear the air there.
Hey, Randy, can I make one statement quick?
Why, certainly, Scott.
Just so you know, if I ask summoning you guys to show up, we've been doing that a lot more to anybody from Clear to anybody else because we want it to be public of whatever it is. So don't take it as you come to your principal's office. We do it to Clear all the time. Because it's one of those, you know what? Come in, tell us what it is. And most time it's gone. Yes, you come in, but we don't, there's been so much that goes on behind and then people find out about it. So it's like, you know what? You just make it public. So it's not,
Okay.
I mean, you can look. I mean,
No,
and that's
I'm aware of what's going on.
Right. So just so you know, you didn't get picked on.
Again,
that was high school. We picked on you, Randy, not now.
Right. So, I think I'm going to probably sit down before I get in trouble much more.
You're not in trouble.
Oh, the other comment that was said on there that I did take some offense to, on our behalf, right, is you talked about the drone and you jokingly talk about the drone and all that. I'd love you to be able to spread manure with a drone for me or spray the corn, so if you want to do that, you can test drive that.
But I'll
right?
wait a couple more years for that, that's coming.
Well, there's some big drones out there, I didn't realize that. But then the comment that came up, and I believe it came from Joe, is we anticipate the soil isn't going onto the DEP approved site. We assume, I believe was the word that was used, that it's going on the other APR property. I take some offense to that because we went through multiple hoops to get, essentially we wanted to cover over all the stones there to turn it into fields. If you see the field now, it's absolutely beautiful. It's come up, it's done really well. We would like to have crept over to the APR side. I'm not fibbing there at all. We did a lot of retention ponds over there to do all that, to make that into a more farmable field to help go there. We're not doing that, right?
Right, but that goes back, Randy, that goes back to when Dick came and saw me way back, about cutting the trees. And what did I tell you, Dick? I said, go ahead. It's private property. You're okay to do that.
In this board's eyes, yes. APR is a whole other subject, but that's not here nor there to take there. So I appreciate your time. The answer is, if you got a question, call one of us. We're both around town quite a bit. Ask questions. We're not hiding anything. And, you know, whether we're bringing dirt in or not, if we choose to in the future, and we choose to put it on APR property, you guys can't, in my opinion, you really can't say, well, geez, you can't do that. I mean, the city of Worcester concerned, you can. You can call APR and say, hey, APR, who was actually there last week inspecting as well, right? And doing all that, you can call them and say, hey, what's going on? Just please communicate a little bit better, and we can stay happily married better than getting a divorce.
Well, I will apologize for bringing up all the stuff that all our fears, I'll say it that way, all the fears that we had that were unjustified. Had we done this, I would rather do it through a letter so there's paper trail as opposed to just get a phone call and it sort of disappears. That's where the rumors start. But I apologize for bringing up so much of the stuff that this did bring up, and we should not have. It should have been simpler, and we didn't do it simply enough. That's our fault. So I don't want you to go away angry. I don't want anybody to think we're out to get them.
Ask Dick to borrow some of his blood pressure medicine before I can.
And I'll make sure Dick has that before we call you guys next time.
I just wish there was a way that you have one concern, that there's a different way to deal with it, right? Everybody's entitled to their concerns, right? When there was 100 trucks on 68, there was multiple phone calls that came in and you addressed it, and, you know, police were details and all that. There was a way to deal with that. But I could say to you right now, hey, guy, in an open discussion, I could say, hey, I saw a dump truck today on Muskapog Road. Where's it going? I mean, and then you spend time with it. There's got to be a better or a different way or more concerns than one, I guess is what I'm saying, of somehow, some way. I just think you have room to improve, and there seems to be a lot of this concern, citizen, single concern coming up that's causing time and anguish and irritation, I guess. Would that be a fair assumption?
I would say I hear irritation today.
He sounds perfectly fine.
What do you mean him? So, yes, I agree that there are improvements we can make on all of our issue management. We'll talk about that some more. Not tonight. But we'll talk about it more. Again, we have many interests we need to balance, and I don't mean that as an excuse. I mean it nothing more than we take our duties very seriously, and we do need to balance many interests, and part of that is, as you're pointing out, our time and your time in this particular instance. Yep, you're absolutely right that we can find ways to do this better and more efficiently.
That's all I can ask.
There you go. Anything else you'd like to say?
You probably don't want to ask that.
May I just,
You're right, it's already almost 7 o'clock, and you have a meeting to go to.
yes, I have an inquiry on number 4. Is that on 68?
Yes.
The old Bob Hartham's?
No. I don't think so.
Let me get this out.
Flows into the east branch of the Ware River, because I have a meeting Thursday night, TCR, and I'm bringing this up, if this is the, maybe that one, if that's the old Bob Hartham's property.
I don't know if 541 is that one.
That's not it. I don't
Gonna
think.
say, hold on, let me, where, and there it is.
No.
You're talking about right over at Putnam.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's Harthan.
Bob Hartham's old piece
That
of
little,
property.
yeah, that little chunk.
Yeah, from way back when. And I don't see any DEP signs up there. And unfortunately, there, that little number 12 right there. That is what, the water is connected,
To what?
you just, to the Ware River. All that flows to the Ware River. They just changed the culvert in there, no DEP number sitting up there.
But I don't think they need a DEP number, because I think we measured this as more than 100 feet.
90, it says 90 feet. 100 feet what? Right where your cursor is a wetland sitting right there, right at the mouth of the culvert. And all this is.
Well, no, this is not what, well, according to these maps, that's not
That's
wetland
that's
breaking.
road drainage according to town.
No.
From back when, I thought. Honest to God. We played with that a long time ago.
Back to 2005 and start looking at the minutes for crying out loud. I'm getting beat up.
That's gone back and forth so many different times, Dick.
Yes, and why did it quit?
I don't know.
Because MDC and DCR got a letter from Ted Kennedy for crying out loud, said to back off.
From Ted Kennedy?
Yes,
No kidding.
honest to Pete. So I'm how can you put it even has a septic system sitting right on top of the culvert?
Yeah, you and I have been out there.
Oh yeah, many a time. Poor Stephanie's the one that got in the middle of it.
Yeah.
She had to get a court order for crying out loud.
So what is the question now? What?
Why isn't there any doggone people going out and checking it?
Checking what?
Okay, any property is shooting of some previously illegal filled stream area. It's not mapped as a stream. So he's saying that on 541, a culvert was installed. I think we knew about that. In fact, we discussed this last time.
Who
didn't
is
we?
this? Is that David
Yeah.
Putnam?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yes, this is the one we discussed the last time.
I'm very upset with DEP for crying out to go down there and all they'll take is deliveries. They don't take people to come in there into their business at all. That was disgusting.
Right, so. I would submit that maybe the owner of 541 should have filed an RDA at least. But I don't.
And I do believe, you know, if they are gonna put in a house there, you know, the old Hawthorne's house that's there has got a well sitting very close to it, so I don't know how it can be happening, you know.
Well, it'd be a new well anyways, I'm sure, from what was there.
Oh, we,
Do you mean on
No.
12 or do
Didn't
you
we-
mean on
Dick.
11?
No, in 11, number 11,
Oh,
didn't we
number
put
11.
didn't we give them,
the okay to put the,
yeah, to put, remember that septic system?
yes, and
Yeah.
go across,
They had to come across over here someplace, and the
yes,
septic's up here,
that is correct, up the hill,
okay. Yeah, now, I remember that one.
yeah,
What, do they pump it up the hill?
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there was no other place
Basically,
to
you
put
need
it.
one.
Yeah, because of the water kept on running right by 11, where the 11 is, heading down there, and you've got the garage that,
Yeah, that barn there or whatever it is.
yeah, there was a garage there, and they found all the oils and everything else strewn and buried behind it way back when.
So the question today is, what do we do with this letter?
Maybe ask the owner some questions, I don't know.
So, the culvert's in, right?
Yep,
Yes.
they replaced an existing collapsed pipe.
Right.
Yes, it-
Yeah, replaced an existing.
I am unconvinced about the statement that says that because it was a repair, he doesn't need to file anything. I'm quite sure that's not a correct statement.
Maybe a notice,
What's that?
maybe just a notice.
Something, just to let us at least.
Well,
because he just-
the initiation would be an RDA, I mean, I would
Yeah,
think.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
He should, I believe he should have filed an RDA that we would have said, given that my suspicion is we would have given approval to,
Mm-hmm.
and this would all be then on file. But we don't have any paperwork now. So do we just ask for an RDA post facto?
Well, I think, take a walk over and take a look. I think that's where we gotta start, we gotta go look. Contact the owner and say we'd like to go see it, that's all.
Yeah, that's fair. Tamika, you can do that?
Can you specify what you?
So we wanna get-
want me to
We want to get a letter to the owner of 541
Jake.
Yes.
to discuss, to examine the state and to discuss the work that was done. I think that we can make it that simple.
Okay, so we're inviting him to the June 7th meeting to discuss this, correct?
Do you want that, or do we want to go out there so we can inspect it?
Do the inspection beforehand, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can, I'm suggesting it can all happen at one time, that we can have the meeting with them, have the discussion, and the walk to examine it all at once and get it all done all at once.
Yeah.
So that's, we'd like to set up a meeting with him on the property.
Okay.
And then we'll get dates from him, we'll figure out our dates, and we'll just go and meet with him.
You want the old minutes?
Now, Dick, everything changes, so you know that whatever happened.
I'm just curious. I'd like to see him. Just interesting.
All right. I'm going.
All right, Dick. Thank you for your input. So that's what we're gonna do with this one.
Next.
So let's jump back to the revised plan for 28 and 30 Finn Park Road, which I accidentally closed, so I'll now find it and reopen it. Go here and here. There we go. Some of you may remember, you're here, just identify yourselves, please.
Ann and John Wither, 3 Finn Park Road.
Thank you. This is very similar. Let me actually jump over here to the letter. This is the revised plan. They moved the house a little bit. So how long ago were the original plans filed? Do you remember when you came before us before?
Last year. It was 2021. Since then,
I put the orders on the drive.
Yes, you did, and I don't think I
The order
opened
of
it, so I'll do
conditions.
that now.
yeah.
Because the order will have the date, and with the date, I can actually get the original plans so we can compare them side by side.
There's a new parcel.
Yes.
Through the chair.
Please.
And the house is moving over a little bit to alleviate the side setback issue. The septic tank is moving over a very slight amount, and the only other change is erosion control is being extended further over to include the new parcel. Everything else is the same, the septic system is the same, the well is in the same position. And what we are hoping is that we can get a letter from you stating that the existing order of conditions can now be used with this revised plan.
So you're looking for the amendment, what they call an amendment.
I think they're hoping to do nothing more than,
Administrative.
ideally, yes, administrative approval to say,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's a de minimis change, we don't need to change the
Correct.
conditions or anything else.
condition cover this?
Well, the amendment, yeah, because it's a different lot.
Well, it's the same lot, it has a little bit more to it though.
You bought additional property off a different lot, right?
Yes, the name.
It's an abutting
Yes.
piece
Yeah.
that's added to it,
Yeah.
yes.
But it's still a different lot. That additional piece now is,
The house is actually still on the original lot.
Well,
It's just that we have more room to.
yeah.
to
Will any
use
of the work, put it this way, will any of the work go on to that other additional piece?
No,
Then-
The
then
erosion
we're fine.
control.
Erosion control.
The erosion control will,
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine, but you're not making any changes,
No.
is what I'm
correct,
saying.
correct.
So administrative is okay.
We just wanted to make sure that you knew.
We can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And let me be very clear, we appreciate everyone who comes before us and asks the question before they do.
Well, we didn't want to run into a problem
That's
later.
right. All right, so this is the original plan. And let me see if I can easily go back to the new, so here's the new plan, it's at a slightly different scale. Not minus, not plus. So where's the new property?
The left side.
On the side?
Yeah.
The left hand, left quarter of the
The one that's
drawing.
closest
Yeah.
to Joe.
Okay. Oh, I see, there's, yep, it even probably says it right here.
Yep.
So this didn't, again, if I just take this and compare it with that,
You're good.
yeah, I mean, I see.
They're still within the confines of the same.
They're within the confines, everything that I'm looking for landmarks looks substantially similar to what was there before. You just moved the erosion control way out here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a permanent change, so.
No, I think, I would call this de minimis. This is minimal.
Exactly.
There's, so now I have to talk to people who know process better than I do. Do we need to do anything other than just say it applies? Do we need to file paperwork somewhere to say this new plan is what we're following for this NOI? I mean, I don't know what steps we and they need
I
to take.
think the thing to do is file the amendment, amend
Amend the NOI
To the new.
to the new plan.
Yes.
Is this something we do, or no?
Well,
we-
Okay. Oh, good.
You would,
Phew.
you would request it as an
Are we
amendment.
talking about an amendment to the order of conditions or an administrative approval?
This is
Administrative
I think we're just
approval.
talking about administrative
That's what we're talking
approval
about.
Yeah.
An
of
amendment to
changing
the
to
order
the
of
new
conditions
plan.
is a much bigger effort.
Yeah.
That
Admin-
requires public notice, refiling, a whole lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
That, again, I also agree.
Well, a minor amendment, you don't have to.
Well, there's only one type of amendment.
Right.
There is now, when you do it through the ED.
Yeah, we used to,
you
they
can't,
used,
there's no gray area.
We're talking about an administrative approval.
Yes.
not a
yeah,
minor
they've changed
change.
it.
Right.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So,
I think, I wonder what Melissa would say about this. I don't think there's anything that officially needs to be filed. I wonder if maybe we just have like a letter for the record, maybe back to the
that's, I
homeowners,
would
just to
certainly
say,
want that.
based on our discussion tonight, we're you know, administratively approving the new plan, the changes shown on the new plan as.
Without any
as-
changes of the orders.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
I feel like something in writing would be
And
good.
reference the original order is the plan, and then what are your thoughts on maybe just having them replace it with regulations? I don't know. if
No,
you-
I don't think we need to because because we're not changing, the orders are what goes in.
The order is already there.
We're not changing them.
The
The
order's the
plan
same.
itself is not in the registry.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I can
So-
do it for the record, for the file, give them a copy of it, and
Yep.
I think we've done that in the past.
I think that's the right way and the easiest way for us all to just go.
Yeah,
And that with
maybe
this
we
written
just do
record
a-
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this
that's,
written record.
that's what I'm looking for right now is for the future. Somebody will look at this
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
And probably a motion too, just to, I would recommend a
official.
motion, just to make it official.
It really comes down to whether we think that the changes are insignificant to the overall goal.
And I would agree that they are. So I'd like a motion for administrative approval of the change of plan while maintaining the same order of conditions for 46 and 48 Finn Park Red.
28 and 30.
28 and 30, see, I'm already confused.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Delco I.
Langer and I.
Clock eye.
Jens Lucci, aye.
Crane, aye. See, now, what you all don't understand is if Melissa's sitting right here, then I'm changing the order that people...
I watched it on TV.
Did you? And you've seen
It
it?
forces us to stay
I
awake.
understand.
Would you guys prefer that I email it to you or send it to you in the mail?
I think we probably should have it in the mail.
A letter.
That's fine,
Yeah.
or I can
Yeah.
send it from home, whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
If you want to pick it up, or I can just send it in the mail.
I can pick it up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine,
But
sure.
what, like your house or?
No, at town hall, so I'll,
Okay,
how
yeah,
about,
that's fine.
how about I have it up there for Thursday?
That's
Does
perfect.
that work, and then you
Like,
guys
like
can
go see
stop by?
Nita or something? or-
Yeah, right in the town clerk's office, I'll make sure that they know you're coming, you just pick it up, you're good to go.
Okay, Norman had just said, that the letter should state that the existing order of conditions can now be used with this revised plan or something to that effect.
Yes, I
Yeah.
will make sure that it references that.
Perfect.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
I'll just check in on Thursday.
Yep.
Okay.
Great,
Great.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have already hit 3 and 4. What did I do? I thought I had...
You skipped 2.
Oh, yeah, 46 and 48. All right, so here's the letter for number 2. Many large, no?
Yes.
Oh, yes, it is. Dirt, stone, etc. on much excavating and earth movement happening at 46 Finn Park. And in fact, is that the one I have? No, not anymore, I don't.
This one also, if you recall, back in the winter, you guys had expressed concern about this particular area anyways, and asked that it be put back on in the spring, because this was back when Bob Parsakian was working on his lot, and you guys happened to observe that this was very washed out. I had reached out to the Finn Park Society via a letter, just to give them a heads up. I didn't ever hear anything back from them.
Okay.
So this just happened to come at the exact same time as I put that on the agenda anyways.
So this is 46 and, okay, so they contend that there is lots of stuff happening at 46, so I want, I'll read that again. Many large truckloads of stone, dirt, etc., and excavating. If you were just filling in what was eroding, there wouldn't be excavation.
Should not.
Well, they necessarily maybe pulling some of the erosion back. If it's that bad.
Well, that's true. We also have to understand that people don't always use the right strict
Language.
definition of terms, so.
Yeah.
um,
You just take a ride out and look.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. And Tamika, we may have you write a letter to have somebody, the owner of 46, come in. To explain,
And
assuming that what we see makes
Peter,
sense.
can you hover over and just see what it says for 46?
Yeah, I wouldn't send a letter yet till we,
No, not
Look.
until we go out there and say that's, still says
Oh, it's
Crutcher.
Tom Crutcher.
but is the filling happening on
Tom.
the right of way or is it happening on the
It's
lot?
still his?
It's Tom.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, it's him or his kids.
Okay.
There's only one Crutcher family in town. Thank God.
That is in fact a very good question, so until we go out there, we can't know for sure if it's happening in the right of way or if it's happening on 48.
I can ask.
46.
Yeah, I can ask Tom. Want me to ask Tom?
Yeah.
I'll reach out to Tom.
Please.
I haven't talked to him in a
it
while.
was 48 that they came in front of us, right?
Correct, that was
He
that
did that, the wall, yeah, okay.
And in fact, we're supposed to go out there and say you can take, that he can take down the,
That's right. He did reach out, didn't he?
one of us should do that this weekend.
All right, one other thing about Demon Pond, while we're on Demon Pond. The Pond Association has a order of conditions that is coming up that may expire.
No, I've already looked into that. They reached out to me recently. We issued it for 5 years. So it doesn't expire, I believe, until 24. They still
We
have
issued,
some
oh,
time.
that was, yeah, this
That
is
was
for
a
the
5-year.
de-weeding and,
Yeah, yeah.
No, oh, yeah, so
Yeah.
it's for the Devon Pond Water Association.
Yes.
right.
Okay, yep, that's the one.
All right, so it's not expiring. All right, can you send them a letter? Or have you already, probably? Probably
Send them
further
a
ahead
letter
on it than
for-
I am.
Send them a letter for what?
Telling them the expiration date. They were concerned that it was 3 years and they were
Yes,
expiring.
yep, I've already communicated with them, so they know that it's up to date. They know that when it expires.
Okay, so you're already,
Yes, yep.
thank you.
We've already.
Although, since we are 3 years in, maybe we should just ask for a status. Doesn't it, it can be in writing, just to say, how's that going? How's the de-weeding going? How far along through the process are you? Are
Yeah,
you,
that would be.
Are you where you're, hi there.
Hi, through the chair, Ann Wither again. I'm actually the secretary of the Devon Pond Watershed Association.
Perfect.
I'm also familiar with the Fin Club up there. I've been in the area a long time. The Devon Pond Watershed Association has been conducting weed control every year through Solitude for the most part. I think they're looking into someone else, but there hasn't been a lot of competition. I believe last fall, there was a series of applications, and the last time they put one down, I think the expiration date may have slipped through the cracks, so there was a little, I wasn't there, but a discussion with DCR, and someone at DCR was not too happy, but I believe it has been extended now, and maybe 2024 is the date, I don't know that part of it, but.
Yeah.
And back to the Fin Club, they do not generally meet in the wintertime. It's a little bit of an elderly population, but they do meet in the summertime. I don't know if you have a contact person that you wanted to reach out to for them,
I
or?
didn't have a contact. I basically just took the name and address off of the property card. And I
Okay.
think it said,
Is it
it
Bailey
was like
Road?
care of,
Bailey and Holden, maybe?
yeah, there was a gentleman's name on there.
Barry?
I don't remember. If you hold over the right of way, it might, or, yeah, it might pop up. Okay, so it doesn't say it on there. The property card said a gentleman's name, and that's who I sent it to. It was back in February.
Okay. All
Just
right.
to let, it basically just said that the commission had some concerns about the erosion in the right-of-way, and that they were gonna be addressing it again in the spring, and to reach out if they had any questions or concerns.
Okay, I'm not on that board right now, but I haven't heard them speak anything of it, so
Okay.
didn't know if they got the message.
Yes, Robert Belden, that's who it
Oh,
was.
yeah, he's probably in his 90s.
Oh, jeez.
There might be a different contact that might be even a little bit better than that one.
If you know anybody, would
Yeah.
you just have them shoot me an email? Because you have my email address. Would
Yeah,
you
yeah.
mind having them
Or I
reach
can
out?
shoot you an email of someone to contact?
Yes,
Or, yeah.
yep, absolutely. Either
Okay.
way would be fine, and then that way we'll have a,
Yeah,
connection
yeah.
to somebody.
Okay,
there.
sounds good.
Perfect.
In case you needed to reach out to somebody.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
All right. Uh-huh. So you're gonna reach out, you're gonna find out what the state of all that is, Scott? and-
Yeah, I'll talk to Tom and say, okay, what are you doing? Who's the contact person?
Yeah, and then should we just, no, I wanna get that contact first, then we'll figure out who's gonna go out when, to look at it, see what the extent is, determine if we need to be involved.
I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Okay,
I'll send a letter back for everybody.
We do go, this one by next door.
yeah,
Let
at the
them
same
know.
time,
Let them
exactly
know
right.
if there's erosion controls.
Okay, now, as I said, we have dealt with 3 and 4. Hickory Drive, number 5, do we, oh, there's an email in Hickory Drive.
Unfortunately, Brian was not able to attend tonight, so he just asked that I share with you. The only thing he is looking to do is set up a physical boundary for his son. He's not looking to do any structures, pools, nothing like that.
Right, so let's now go to here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Having done this once already today, I already know the answer to this question, but I want to show my work to the teachers. Come on.
How's that internet?
How's that internet working for
Hey,
you?
hey, look, this is one of the slowest sites ever. There we go. This is the property in question. This is the nearest wetland.
Yeah, okay.
So I think we can just write him a letter saying,
Well, hold on,
uh-oh.
hold on. I was gonna call it Oliver, Mass Mapper now. It does show some sort of stream in the back edge of his property where,
He referenced that in his email, I believe.
yeah. I don't know if it shows up on here, but on Mass Mapper, it's showing
It does.
something
I
there.
think that was the reason why he wanted to do the barrier. in the
Mass
first place.
Mapper.
That's, Oliver, Mass GIS, that's
Yeah,
what they call it.
I know, just,
Yeah, see, Mass Mapper.
I know, just doesn't,
Yeah, it's.
no,
We're all
Oliver was
just going
fun.
the right way,
Where the hell is Hickory? I'm just trying to zoom in on it, but I don't remember. Oh,
Near
Hickory,
Central Tree.
Hickory was off Central Tree, which is going to be over here-ish.
Don't open that one.
Oh, that's Glenwood.
There you go.
That's Central
Right
Tree.
there.
Hickory.
That's Hickory.
Yeah, there is something showing there.
Which number was he?
13.
13.
Sorry, 13.
Oh, yeah, so it is on the adjacent, oh, it might be right
Somewhere.
along the property. Hold on, I got it.
Yeah,
So GIS shows what looks like a potential.
Oh, yeah, right here.
Yeah, potentially an intermittent stream running along. the
Basically
back.
along the property line.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yippee.
Oh, gotta verify it, gotta go up and see it.
Actually, let me check.
Because it says it's there, it doesn't mean it's there.
No, I agree.
Right.
But I think that's what he said.
But if
He
he's-
said that's
so-
the reason he wants the barriers.
Mhm.
He was smart.
Fence summer to accommodate my son's, and there's a low area on my property. So he just calls it a low area.
Yeah, well, that might be.
It might be,
It's got to,
take a
it's
peek.
gotta have 3 things to be a stream, so.
Mhm.
and
Imagine there's gotta be something if he reached out to us, you know,
Hmm.
like he must see something or else he wouldn't have known to.
Right.
reach out.
Might even be intermittent, I don't know.
That's what GIS shows, intermittent.
Shows intermittent, aha!
Yeah, and it does not show up on the USGS topographic map, which tells me that it is, if anything, it's intermittent. It's not perennial. And there are no, based on the contours, there are no low areas through there, but it probably is some sort of swale. It's running along the back of the properties.
Yep.
So, might be something there.
Yeah, take a walk out and look, that's all.
I was gonna say, why don't we reach out, say, we'd like to come out, take a look.
Okay.
And
What did you do wrong that you're still here?
There's one.
oh
Looking
no,
down the
we still have
list.
to talk about Brice Lemon.
I already figured that.
Do you want me to say
He loves our company. Come on.
Yeah. If you say I
Well,
can
that's,
go,
I'm actually
happy.
going to suggest,
Maybe do that for
uh-oh,
Park.
was meeting, I don't wanna know about that.
I just wanna make sure I post and maybe try to consolidate the dates so that I'm not like putting it out there to all these different people and then you guys are kind of all over the place.
No, that's the wrong thing, this is the right thing. So are people available on Saturday to go to this, and if Jake's available, that one also?
You available Saturday?
I think I should be around.
I'm gonna be around. I'm pretty sure.
I should be
So
around.
why don't we suggest
Yep.
Saturday, and if you do it in the email, we'll know fairly quickly if he'll be available.
I'm gonna stay away from Jake's.
I understand that, it makes
I
sense.
figure, I mean, I don't have to, but I figure I don't wanna. He used to work
Let's
for
have
he,
fewer
he,
problems
he used to
rather
work
than
for me,
more
so
problems.
that's probably better to stay away.
Do you want to
Yeah.
show Wood Park on your booking purposes?
Yes.
This is a
I'll
good read.
propose Saturday at 10.
So
said
in any
enforcement,
event,
but
no
there's
matter
no
what, we can
written
go out to
enforcement.
Finn Park and look at it
Right.
from
What
the
did
road.
enforcement
And
say?
We should be able to mostly see all the way, we should be able to see all the way to the pond.
Say 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
I should be able to make it.
By the way, I don't know, I had 3 ticks on me.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I had none. Oh, that happened.
I just take that 3-in-1 stuff now, so it doesn't,
Yeah.
you know, I split it with my dog.
So where do we want to go first?
Works well.
We'll go to Hickory first, then Finn Park. Actually, we should start north.
No, because that's gonna be a longer. I mean, if you're gonna go to Jake's, I would do Jake's after, because that's a longer conversation.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so we'll start with Hickory Drive, or Road, or whatever that is. This is 13, isn't it, right?
Yes.
All right, what are we starting out with?
Hickory.
13 Hickory at 10.
13 Hickory?
Mm-hmm.
And
Is that the address?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Then to
Stop acting like
48.
Tom. It's the address.
Ish,
It's
Finn
not a
Park.
lot.
Maybe Tom knows the lot number.
That's before his time.
And then we'll
I
do
do-
Jake's last.
I do
and-
know
and
Brian
we'll-
Young,
We'll stabilize
Oh, there
which
you
ones
go.
we're gonna go to.
So we only
he just
got
moved from
2 or
Hubbardston,
3,
Oh,
Peter?
no kidding.
Three.
and I know him through the Lions Club.
All right, what's the second one?
It's a small world
48 Finn
sometimes.
Park.
Okay.
And then there was a 541 East County, is that right?
Is that?
Yes.
And the last one is East County.
Right.
It took them that long to find all that paperwork?
But it took enforcement stuff, but there's no written what the enforcement was back in 2004. I mean, there's one thing that said don't hydroseed the dirt that the town dumped there.
Yeah.
You really want that in writing? I mean, hello, but
All right, let's see how quickly we can get through some of the rest of this, and it won't be as quickly as I would like. Oh, done, sidewalk report. So Jared and I visited phase 3, yes.
Okay.
We just walked, I don't want to say the perimeter, that's unfair, but we walked the barrier, is the right way to say it. And we visited each of the ponds. So I'm going to let Jared take over.
Sure. Should I start with the good news or the bad news?
Let's start with the good news. It's always nice to give them hope before we crush them.
Well, good news was most of it looked pretty good. I think the stone wall, we noticed a lot of areas, the stone wall actually I think is helpful in protecting the wetlands. So correct me if I'm wrong, Peter, but the one area that jumped out to me was actually right near the discharge at the detention basin.
Yeah.
There was a spot there where it overflowed. There's a little crushed stone, I'll call it plunge pool,
Yeah.
at the discharge to the basin. Spot where it overflowed, which that's totally fine, but then it kind of tore up the erosion control, and that's all kind of fallen down.
Okay.
So it looked to me like in the wetlands, it looked like the stone wall actually protected the wetlands. So
Okay.
even though it got through the erosion control barrier, we didn't really see anything on the other side of the stone wall, at least nothing significant.
I would agree with nothing significant. There were
There
some
were
places where you
traces-
could see
yeah,
some,
yeah.
and a path that may have gone.
But it wasn't like we looked across the stone wall and said, oh boy, we have a problem. It wasn't that. In front of the stone wall, yeah, need to do some repairs, fix the silt fence, the wattles, probably, I was thinking it might be worthwhile, a little bit extra stone around where it discharges from that
Okay.
detention basin. That was the one area that jumped out to me. Other than that, I know there were a few other areas where the silt fence probably just needs to be restapled in a few spots
There are-
along the.
There are a number of
perimeter.
areas where
Yeah.
the
right.
with the
So
silt fence.
What's feeding that? I know where it's at. What's feeding that discharge now? What's feeding the water in there? Everything come off the road and the houses. So a lot of water.
So it's only 2 catch basins uphill of that.
That's it.
The rest of them go the other way.
Okay. Okay.
So
Now,
the-
we did know that one of the catch basins, not basins, excuse me, one of the
It's a water quality structure.
water quality structure is full of sand.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the point where water from one of the
The uphill structure.
one of the uphill feed structures, that pipe is
Very full.
95% filled with salt with sand.
Yeah.
Not a lot of water's coming through there at once.
Okay.
Now, the other thing, I think he's sort of burying the lead. There's nothing here we're gonna say, we're not gonna wag our fingers at you guys. We're not gonna do any action. We're giving you recommendations.
Yeah, okay. So I think what I'm getting out of this is, take a look at the catch basins, some of them probably have to be cleaned.
Yep.
I'm guessing they're probably on the uphill side. Maybe not.
More, yes.
Yeah, okay. Then we'll walk the silt fence, anything that's come down through the winter, restaple it, and right in that corner, replace that section.
There are a couple of places where trees came down. This is another place where the wall did in fact protect.
Yeah.
The,
There's a large
not
tree. that-
perfect, but there are a couple of big trees that are this far above.
So if you look, that, we assumed, which never works out good, the stone wall was the property line. It is not. It's close,
Right.
but there are areas where it's actually 12 feet past going into the wetland where the
okay.
property line is.
Yep.
So that's where the silt fence and hay bale should be, but they're actually closer. But
The line doesn't define, right.
like I say, we assumed it was the wall and it was not. But that doesn't change anything we're talking about here. So I will address those. And you let me know. I think normally I send Tamika pictures.
Yes.
If that works out good for you guys, once that's completed.
Yeah. Jared, how many pictures did you take?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah. And I meant to make them available, and I have not yet.
And just while we're talking real quick, I know one of the comments was made on phase 2, that swale that goes around.
Yep.
That was reseeded, and
Okay, great.
I saw that the other day, and you can see all the grasses coming up.
It's a good spring for growing.
Yes,
Yes.
very good. Yeah,
We've not had too much really stupid amounts of rain in the storm.
yes.
So
Good.
we're hoping that
Yep.
makes everything quiet down. Do we have anything else? No, I don't think so. I mean, I have questions about phase 4, but nothing I want to. They aren't well enough formed for me to ask them right now. I agree with everything Jared said. I think that
Those are reasonable.
there are lots of places where we would say, if we were going to be really picky, this stuff needs to be fixed, but This is at the bottom of a hill that's very well vegetated, so nothing else is going to happen, so we don't see value in fixing every little thing that's wrong. We only see get that erosion control up and we won't have that. The fence, I think, will be fine. There are probably a few spots where you could say, there's no erosion, there are places where, in fact, the bales are now behind the fence. It happens. I'm not saying go out of your way to do a lot. I'm saying look at it and consider what the most right thing to do is. One of our discussions a couple spots was, how are you going to get rid of this silt fence when we're done? And the answer is probably going to be cut it at ground level and leave it there because tearing it up is going to be more destructive.
That's a recommendation we got when I walked it with DEP. And Gary Domain said exactly that. That's what they're recommending now. Cut it at ground level, because otherwise you just open another sky.
Right. So that was our conclusion at the end of that walk.
You just said something that reminded me as we walked, I think it was north, along the edge of the project. That slope was very well vegetated.
Yeah.
So like a lot of that perimeter there,
The stuff further up, yes. The stuff further back.
closer to the basin, obviously that's still,
Correct. Being
disturbed.
worked, and that's what we talked about, that detention pond
Yeah.
and the infiltrators.
Yep.
So that has not been completed.
Right. Further up, it was actually really well
It was
vegetated. Further up.
It took very well. So we were going to ask what the plan was for erosion management, not post-construction erosion management of that slope behind 6 and 8 and 10 and 12. Or
Okay.
99, 98.
Right, yeah. So that'll be exactly the same as what you saw up above. And
Oh, so it'll be hydroseeded also.
well, thanks for those comments, because I hand-seeded those.
Oh, you hand seeded?
Wow.
So if you like to walk hills, it's good exercise.
I'll say.
Got a lot of steps that day.
Yeah. But
It's a big area.
I found in Holden, we did both. One section we hydroseed and one we hand. And the hand actually came up better.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, that might have been the hydroseeder we used too.
You're supposed to put seed in
Doesn't
it?
reflect
You're supposed
well.
Oh, it's hydro seed.
Seed, not just.
Not just hydro.
Yeah. Not just a green color.
Yeah, the green in the water, that's what went in. Look good for a day or two.
So overall, we're very pleased with what's happened on phase 3. We like it. Couple of things, you know how to take care of them. Let us know.
Okay, I'll do that with pictures and I'll send them.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I think that closes out number 6.
All right, number 7, I vote no. Let's go.
You want to be back in charge?
No,
No, much more importantly,
Can we vote Melissa in charge?
yeah,
She's not here.
so yeah.
Well,
yeah, she's not here.
Can't object.
this is not reorganization. That's the first meeting in July.
If we don't vote you
Will
on, it
will
is.
Melissa be here?
Who knows?
Oh, as Jared said, whoever's not here, that's the one that gets
While
voted
we're
in.
talking about that meeting,
Yes, I just had that in my head.
perfect. Is everybody gonna be here? Is anybody gonna be out of town?
It is, the first meeting in July
Why'd you look
is
at
the
me?
5th of July, obviously right after the 4th of July. 4th is a Monday, 5th is a Tuesday.
Just trying to see if
So-
there's a quorum.
Trying to think ahead. Do we think we want to have a meeting on July
That's the question.
5th? Or
Is
do
there
we-
anything pressing?
Well, today, no. I can't guarantee there won't be.
There aren't-
We know,
there
for
aren't
example,
conflicts that they do. It's not like
no, I've already checked that. We're clear, we are clear. Select board was not scheduled to meet the 4th,
okay.
the
That's
before and
that's
after.
what I was thinking of because that's happened before with Monday
Yeah.
holidays.
So the biggest thing that I know of that's going to come of our way soon, that we all know about, is the cell tower, which I'm not saying is a big deal because we've looked at a lot of it already. But that's a hearing that may have a noticeable amount of public presence. I don't know when that's going to be. It hasn't been filed yet. We're now moving into Well, we're now moving into June, so it's only 2 meetings in June, and then we're at July.
So it
So,
was actually Chris Lucas that prompted this question because they are preparing the NOI. So he's trying to plan ahead and was thinking he wanted to submit for that meeting, but wanted to ask if there would be a
Yeah,
quorum.
I'm 50-50. I may be unopinionated, I don't know.
Just count Scott as 0. We know he's
If, it-
Are you going to Mexico?
we've got time to make that decision, to make that call.
we do have, I just don't want to let this slip, so.
But even at that cell tower one, do you really want to do that when 80% of people go on vacation in town and they can't show up for it?
Yes!
You can't. I didn't say answer honestly. You're supposed to do the little secret. No.
They can zoom in. Right?
That's, they can, I've zoomed into meetings from all over the world.
What do we know about that at this point? When are they gonna be ready?
Well, perhaps July 5, that's just it. If we tell them we're willing to meet July 5.
So would they be submitting for the second hearing in June, and their first hearing would be July 5th?
I think he wants to submit his submission for July 5th.
Okay. Okay.
Because he did reach out and ask me today how far in advance he needed it, and he asked to confirm the 2 meeting dates in June. So I thought he was going to do June, but then he came back a second time and said, hey, how about July 5th?
Okay.
Are you guys going to do that?
For what, a submission?
Correct.
For submission.
Tell them no.
You want to bring it back in?
Tell them submit the second meeting in June,
I'm gonna bring it back to him.
because if they're that
That's
close,
the Monday night. last
They're-
night.
they're
I came
ready.
off on him last
Yeah,
Well, I'll
but
tell
then
you-
if you don't have a meeting on the 5th, then you're pushing the hearing out a month.
That's okay.
essentially.
they can go see DEP if they don't want to
Well,
deal
they
with
have
us.
to agree, they have to agree to that.
Right, because it needs to be
because
within
it's a 21 days.
Right. Yeah.
See if they file.
I don't know. I'm working that week, so I'll be here if we have a meeting.
I don't know of any reason that I won't be here, I'll say it that way.
It's an emergency, I'll be here. Let's be real.
I mean,
Yes, because it'll be July 5th, how many of us will actually be sober?
July 5th?
I'll be
Yeah.
sober.
They will.
I have.
No, seriously, Peter, what Scott said in jest is actually kind of true.
Oh, I know.
Because of the interest that this meeting may or may not generate, and I'm thinking it may, we would probably want to accommodate the
Public.
town, the public.
Because we care.
No, I'm serious. I mean, I think it's the right thing to do.
Well, if they submit on July 5th, the public hearing won't be until July 19th.
Right.
So,
But if we don't hold a meeting, we could hold a really abbreviated, basically, just let them submit, only do submissions, don't do hearings that night.
for July 5th?
Yeah, for July 5th, so we could hold an abbreviated meeting for the people who are here.
Yeah.
As long as we can get 4, we'll be set.
Yeah, and I can zoom in. Like I say, I'm not going out of the country.
Yeah, so,
But you're going out of town.
Probably. Why wouldn't I?
You can drive back from Maine. It's only 8 hours.
and the good news is, because I'm in control, I can mute him anytime I want.
Melissa's running that meeting because we know she loves me.
So at this point, we're not saying we're going to cancel altogether
No.
on July 5th.
No, actually,
We'll
yeah,
just
I
leave
think,
it.
I think we'll hold a July 5th
Submittal only.
submittals, board organization,
What?
board reorganization.
Melissa's in charge.
Okay.
And whatever other discussion topics we will continue with.
Or an emergency.
Yeah, well, I mean, we may continue talking more about data organization.
Really?
Bylaws?
Come on.
Maybe, but not like not on that day. No, I'm not doing bylaws that day, no matter what.
Do we need a quorum we don't need a quorum for submissions, right?
No, you only need a quorum for a hearing.
For hearings when we have to vote.
Well, now, hold on. In order to have a meeting, you need a quorum,
That's a good point.
which means in order to discuss anything.
Yeah.
That's right, but we're not discussing anything when you have a submission.
Yeah, but you can't open a
But if we
meeting.
can't open a
without
meeting,
You can't
give
have-
us their
You
submission.
just can't
Yeah.
talk about it. You can take, all that is, a submission is the date you receive it.
No, Joe,
Period.
you can't open the meeting
Yeah,
at
you have to
all.
open the meeting in order to take the.
Yeah,
No,
right,
no.
Joe.
If you don't have a
Yes.
quorum,
Te-
you
te-
can't.
In order to
hold-
take a
hold-
sub-
hold on. Joe's right. Technically, we do not need to be in a meeting to accept a submission.
That is true.
The date it is clocked in at the town clerk is the date of submission. Our process has been that we go through submissions to make sure they are complete and ready for hearing. And it's that part of the process that we would not have if we didn't have a meeting. I would just as soon have a meeting that day.
This is probably, I would say, not one we would want to change the process on as far
I
as
would agree. I think that
the
we,
submission and doing it at a public.
I mean, if we have a quorum, there's no reason not to have a meeting.
right,
Agreed.
look,
Right.
Yeah.
Jared will be here, I'll be here, Scott can come in by Zoom,
I'll probably be here.
and Melissa may or may not, and Skip
We
if
got
if we
four
need
already.
to. If we need
Yeah,
to.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
Skip's only up the
so,
street. Doesn't
I
matter.
believe that we will have quorum, we'll accept the
Just down the
submission,
road.
we are gonna keep it light and easy.
No
Okay,
hearings.
I'll let him know. Yeah,
No,
I'll
no
let him
hearings,
know.
and only discussions that come up that we need to investigate, that come up during that period.
Right.
Yep,
Okay.
that's
Good.
fair.
Cool.
So we also need to remember, when we get to the end of June, any continued hearings are continued to the end of July. The
Yes.
19th of July, fine.
Okay.
Um, So there, I think that covers the 5th of July. So Jared and I are both up for reappointment. It would be inappropriate as chair to write my own letter of recommendation, but I can write his.
And he can write yours.
No, I
Or
already wrote one.
What's that?
Well, I already had a standard letter that we wrote the last time this happened.
Yeah, but it comes up to who signs it.
Why don't you just,
Probably Melissa, right?
Yeah, Melissa would
Yeah,
sign
that's true.
mine.
yeah, and you sign this, fine.
Right, so we just need a motion for the board to write letters of recommendation.
So moved.
I'll second.
So Peter's read his last will and testament.
Yeah. I, Peter Crane, being of sound mind and body,
Oh,
Nope,
they
I
already
won't go
left.
that far.
hereby wish to stay, preference to stay on the board. Right away, that takes out the sound mind.
Tamika, I still owe you a letter
Yes,
for the select board, right?
yes.
Okay, that's on my to-do
But
list.
that's
And so
fine.
do I.
said it
And I still have to do
June 15th.
earthworks. Oh, that's another, no, let's not get into the whole earthworks representative thing.
No, not yet. Is that fruit ready to pick? I don't think so.
No,
What are
we're
you
getting
doing?
closer. We're getting closer.
Figuratively or literally?
Well, I'm always very close to myself. I know me very well.
But you talking about fruit though. I'm confused. I probably don't want
When
to.
somebody's talked about getting closer and literally, it's like, okay. So we have a motion and a second. We probably shouldn't vote, but
Aye.
Aye.
good enough. Abstain. Yeah, I'm going to abstain also,
Okay.
because it's better not to say anything.
I did get an
Notice the
email on
hint.
165.
You did?
Yeah, I put it in the drive.
It's true,
I didn't see it.
Um,
Hold on.
yeah.
I said, come here. Oh, you are here. I just can't see you. Oh, there it is. I didn't notice that. Markup document is attached.
It's just, it's the map with the purple finger that you guys did.
Purple finger.
Yes, that one. Yeah,
Oh, but we don't have that.
no, it's not.
You can't open it from
It's
there,
in
right?
the, it's in the Canon.
Peter,
Folder.
you can't open it from there, right?
No.
No.
No, this is just a PDF of the email.
Okay. So we'll look at it next meeting.
Yeah, I'd rather have Melissa here as we
Yep.
discuss that.
This is Wendy Somerset. I don't know if I missed the discussion about us or 165 Cannon Road.
Yeah, we're just hitting it right now.
Oh, perfect timing. So what are your questions?
Well, we were looking
You have
for a
questions?
map that showed in more detail where the samples were taken.
Well, I talked to Paul and I had him looked at that whole area that Tamika had sent me, that whole purple area. You had
Right,
sent that to me? That was your area
but-
we looked
but
at, right?
That is correct, but we were what we're looking for is where within the area each of the samples was taken.
He started at the property line and then worked his way north. He was pretty detailed in the report, the 4-page report that he sent.
Our review of the report found that did not have any actual detail about specifically where the samples were taken.
He had an attachment. I sent an attachment, and he pointed to the actual area. I mean, we looked at that whole purple area.
No, we understand that it's within the area. We're looking for exactly where within the area the samples were taken.
Most of the time, they pinpoint exactly where the borings were done, and so you can locate them. That's kind of what we're saying.
And what's the purpose of that?
That's just how it's done. That's just a standard way to do it, because then you know it's not just a broad area. It's just like any typical wetlands flagging or anything like that. Is most of the time everything's labeled, so you know, hey, this was done here, that was done there. So in case there was any question,
you were looking for possible jurisdictional wetlands, and his report says there's no wetlands. So I guess I'm just trying to understand why I'm still on the agenda, even because I hired a wetland specialist, and now it seems like you're not relying on the information that he provided. Is that correct? I'm just trying to understand.
We were looking for more detail to be sure that we understood exactly where he did it so we could agree with his assertion.
So we had looked at that whole area to make sure that that whole area was fine.
We haven't looked at it.
Well, again, you're talking about possible jurisdictional. So I guess that's step one, right?
Yeah.
Do you have jurisdiction?
That's correct.
And you don't, because I hired a wetland specialist, as you had suggested, because I want to make sure that we got to the right answer, and you wanted that information. So I went out and spent this money, which was costly to our farm, and now it sounds like that's not being relied upon. You identified an area, and we looked at that whole area. And then Paul also, went through all the regulations and said there's agricultural exemptions that even apply. So I'm not even sure I had to go through this step, but I did as the compromise, and now I'm still on the agenda. And I want you to understand that this has been detrimental to my farm. I'm being denied on agricultural commissions because of this. And I'm answering your questions. I'm sending pictures. I attend these meetings. I'm always at the bottom of the agenda. I call in and wait. I hired a wetland specialist. And you're asking the same questions. I'm giving you the same answers. I don't understand.
What are you being denied? You just said you were being denied?
I am being denied. Holden won't put me on the AdCom.
Oh, Holden.
Because you've been copying Holden Conservation Commission. So even though I have no violations with Conservation Commission in Rutland or in Holden, everybody thinks that, I'm doing bad things here.
Yeah.
Because you won't clear my name off the agenda.
Did we ever get clarification on the ag exemption? I didn't think they ever found that.
I didn't think
they found anything for an ag exemption.
There were notes about
There were notes, but I don't think it. Yeah, but there was. We're gonna reread that then, because I don't think there was anything that they could push it back to. I don't. Again, it's been going off so long. But I don't think
there's ag exemptions for the watershed, wetlands. There's a number of ag exemptions, and I spent a fair amount of time reading the regulations. And there's also court documents on this. But I spent a significant amount of money at your recommendation to hire a wetland specialist. And now it sounds to me like you're not relying on his information. And this is somebody that you've used. I mean, you've used Paul, right? He's a reputable expert.
Yes, but even most times, even after a specialist comes in, the board still verifies and agrees with whatever they're telling us by doing a site walk. I mean,
Well, I can understand that if we're talking about residential, but this is 61A property, and there's agricultural exemptions, and you can't just ignore those. We have to, I mean, I have to work within the regulations, you have to work within the regulations. We all have to, and don't get me wrong, I think you guys do phenomenal work, and I don't want dirty water for me, for my cows, for anybody. You know, I'm planting trees on my farm, I rotate regularly, I am not, based on what I've seen in Massachusetts, I'm following these regulations, and I spent a lot of money on the wetland specialist, and then I did that, and now I'm still on the agenda. I don't know if you can understand how incredibly frustrating that is for me, and then I can't get on the Agricultural Commission for Holden because Rutland still has me on their agenda, and you've been copying them, so they think I'm doing bad things, so they're like, no, we don't want her on the Agricultural Commission. Now, of course, they won't say that to my face. It's, oh, the agenda's been full. We can't get you on,
Right.
This is a tarnish to my reputation.
I mean, and again, not to beat a dead horse, but a lot of this, especially if Paul, we like what Paul does and all the other stuff, but again, most of it on any type of project is what they say is verified by a site walk. If this is all what it is and it shows whatever, then guess what? A site walk could clear it up and it all goes away. If there's a question, we go back to Paul and go, hey, what is this or what is that? So it's not trying to muddy it, but it's one of those of.
But you're not reading the regulations. I mean, there's specific regulations for agricultural exemptions, and this is property that's been in 61A, and I'm able to change my commodity. I'm following the regulations. I'm not I'm not a criminal here, and I certainly have been treated like one. I have drones being flown on my farm. I've had to, this is disrupted. I have a therapeutic riding license. I can't have children in here with learning disabilities and be on horseback and handling animals with drones being flown over my property, not knowing when warrants are going to be pulled for health issues. What health issues? My animals are health checked every year. I mean, this is insane. I'm being treated like I'm a criminal. It's incredibly frustrating. And I'm really upset about it. I've had health issues. This has been incredibly troublesome to me. And the only thing I'm trying to do is farm. I am not a commercial farm. I don't even spread fertilizer. I don't even have a manure spreader. I am low scale. One of the first things I did was I planted trees, native pine trees, 12 of them. I mean, I follow the regulations. I did what you asked, and now I'm still on the agenda. That's not right.
Well,
that's not right.
I will repeat exactly what Scott said a moment ago. Every time we get a report from an expert, we also do a site walk to verify so that to ensure that we agree with the assessment of the expert.
And I understand what you're saying, but when I called Paul and contacted him, and he wasn't the only one I contacted because I have a number of other people telling me different things, so I like to verify things. So Paul said, they don't have jurisdiction over you, Wendy. Didn't you tell them that? I said, Paul, they don't listen to me. He said, they don't have jurisdiction over you. You're able to do all of this. So I said, you got to put it in a report and you got to put it on your letterhead and take your soil samples and test this all out. And then I said, you know what? Maybe Paul doesn't know what he's talking about. So let me circle into UMass. So I called Scott Jackson, who sits on the Massachusetts Conservation Commission, and I said, Scott, what's going on here? Don't have jurisdiction over you. Then I said, you know what? Well, maybe Scott and Paul, they don't know what they're talking about. So let me call another wetland specialist. So I called North Environmental and said, do I have an issue here? Am I doing something wrong? Because I'm on their agenda and they won't take me off. So what am I missing? Nope, this is what they do. So then I went to Bob Purcell at NCRS. Okay? He said, Wendy, I have no idea. You're being harassed. His words, not mine. His words. He said it to me 3 times. He said, this is what they do. This is what they do. That's not the discussions that we had, that it was an absolute site visit. That's not what you said to me.
I'd
You
like
said
to
we're
know,
trying to save you money so you don't have to hire a wetland specialist. Well, I decided to hire a wetland specialist
Wendy,
to get
Wendy,
this issue
one
resolved.
thing.
Now that I did, now you're telling me that you have to have a site visit. Well, then I say to you, step one was jurisdiction. How do you have jurisdiction over me?
Wendy,
And I don't want to fight with you. You're wasting time on me, and what are you missing by focusing on me? I want you to understand that there's regulations in these agricultural
Tell me-
exemptions, and you
tell me
have to
what those
read
regulations
and follow
are.
those.
Show
give
us.
me those regulations. Give us those regulations that say you're exempt, okay, so we can look at them. And if that's the case, you're off the agenda.
I already put it in the report. It's detailed in Paul's report. I've already given this to you.
I haven't seen that.
No, I do remember.
You
that
haven't
there
seen
are-
Paul's report now? Now you're telling me that I
No,
never
hold on.
sent the
No, no, no.
report in?
No.
We have seen it, there have been discussions about it, and there is even disagreement on this board as to applicability. It is specifically about the agricultural exemptions.
Well, let's talk about that. So you're questioning my agricultural exemptions. Can we talk about it so I understand? Because we can't talk about it if you don't ask me the questions. And I want to get this resolved too. And I want to get it resolved for you guys so you can go do your good work. But we're like, circling around things. So I just want to nail down your questions and be able to answer this. But we are a farm. Yes. Do I work full time? Yes, I do, to support my farm, because I didn't inherit a farm here in Massachusetts. So I had to buy a farm, but this was 61A property, and it's been 61A property. And I am allowed to change my commodity. So, for example, what does that mean? A hayfield can be turned into a pasture. I can decide to grow corn one year and then change it
61A is
to
just
a pasture or grow alfalfa.
Yeah, that's all.
And that's in the regulation.
So, Wendy, the problem tonight is that we don't have with us the expert we normally have with the regulations, so I can't answer your question tonight.
And who is that expert?
That is Melissa Danza.
And she's an agricultural person?
She knows all the wetlands laws inside and out, and the regulations.
Well, I need somebody that knows the agricultural exemptions. So, because I've gone to all those people that I've mentioned, I've also gone to Farm Bureau and Brad Mitchell, and they're all telling me that I'm fine and that I'm within the regulations, and I've read the regulations and I'm within the regulations. But you guys are way over here by yourself, and I need to figure out where to bridge that gap. Okay, where is the miscommunication or where is the misinformation? Because we're disagreeing, but we have to agree on the facts. And are we not agreeing on the facts? Is there a challenge that this isn't 61A property? I mean, I don't even know what your questions are.
61A is a tax
But I want to get off your
classification.
agenda because it's a tarnished my reputation, and
All right.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
All right.
So,
And I'm really upset about this. I'm like really upset, and I don't want to go to court to get off your agenda, and I don't want you to pay money to take me to court. This isn't how these things are supposed to work. I'm farming. I'm not a large scale farm. I'm not a Randy. I'm not a Ryan, but my work is still important, and I service 10 families in town.
So, next meeting, we will come up with our list of questions and our disagreements with the report on agricultural exemptions as they apply to your property.
So I've been on the agenda for a year, and you don't know what the questions are for my property?
At the moment,
Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't specifically remember, no. I remember that there were, that was enough for my memory.
So why am I on the agenda?
It's an unresolved issue.
I'm sorry?
It's because it's an unresolved issue. It just keeps going round and round, and
Melissa's the one who suggested I hired a wetland specialist. Her exact words were, "We're trying to avoid you having to hire a wetland specialist."
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, can I tell you something? and please don't take this the wrong way, there are feuds going on with farmers in Rutland. I have nothing to do with that, okay? I don't point fingers at people. I don't in trouble. I have nothing to do with that. I've had people call me and yell at me that I'm getting people in trouble because I work at the government. I'm not doing that, and I really don't appreciate that. And I'm not in the middle of the feud up the hill, okay? I try and support local farmers. I hate from people. Jim Dunn helps me. Randy's helped me. Ryan's helped me. I've even been over to Skip Clark's farm. I've been to Schultz's, but I am not, and I do not, and I will not point my fingers at the neighbors or whatnot. Okay, I won't do it. It's not who I am, and I'm tired, and I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible what's going on in Rutland. I think it's really bad because farming's hard enough as it is, and we should all be working together. But I didn't call the FBI on anybody, and I'm not. I have enough to do in a day, and just to keep my farm going, okay? Mm-hmm. And I'm following the regulations. I hired a wetland specialist, and I can't believe that you all are sitting there telling me that you have no questions, but you won't take me off the agenda. Can you understand how incredibly frustrating that is for me?
Well, half the time we ask you to talk, you don't show up, so we weren't prepared for you.
That's not true. I called in, and you skip over me.
No.
or I'm on, and then I'm off. And after I sent this report in, I was off. And then all of a sudden, I'm back on.
Well, I've told you what we're going...
But I'm here today. I'm here tonight, and I'm not hearing any questions being raised.
So, as I've said, we will come up with a list of questions and comments and disagreements at our next meeting.
And then you can send them to me. But I guess my two questions I'd like answered is how you have jurisdiction over me, because this was possible jurisdictional wetlands, and I have an expert and I've given you that information that clearly says it's not wetlands even at all. And then two, I want to know other farms in the area that you're looking at and that you are you're requesting site visits for possible jurisdictional wetlands. Because if I'm the only one, why? Because I'm new? Because I'm female? Why am I being singled out?
Because you're the one that had a complaint lodged against you.
Easy, Peter.
I'm sorry, what?
You had a complaint lodged against that property. And you never let us on the property to look at it, to evaluate it. So we haven't been able to take the last step to say we don't need to be involved.
You don't need to be involved because you don't have jurisdiction.
Well, that is still a question.
Well, I guess, how is that a question?
We'll discuss that at the next meeting.
I'd like my, the questions and this information in writing, and I'd like it sent to me beforehand so that I can review it. And then if I need to reach out to Paul, that I can. If that's a reasonable
We will
request.
be constructing them at the next meeting. We're not allowed to meet as a group without having a public meeting, and our next meeting is in 2 weeks, and that's when we can discuss it.
Okay, but then you'll identify how you have jurisdiction?
I imagine that's part of what will come out of that meeting, yes.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know, 2 weeks. Depending on all the
You're right,
schedules
it's
and
3
things, I don't
weeks,
know if I'll be
excuse me,
able
Doug.
to call it.
Yeah.
I'm
Tamika
sorry, go
just
ahead.
corrected me, it's 3 weeks, not 2 weeks.
June 7th? Yeah, June 7th is a meeting where we're going to discuss and come up with our lists.
Right.
And what is Melissa's agricultural background?
I know that she has an agricultural background, she has a wetlands background.
So wetland
Oh,
science.
is she a wetland specialist?
I would say so, yes.
Yes.
She's a wetland specialist, she has a degree? She has a bachelor's degree in
I don't know
in
her
wetland?
educational background. I can say that she enforces wetlands in other towns.
Okay, And then, can I ask this question? Is Ecotech a reliable expert that you guys use?
We have
Can
certainly
we
used
agree
them.
on that?
We have certainly used them, and upon site visit and verification, we've accepted, well, all the ones that I've been involved in.
Yeah, we've accepted.
But in order to do a site visit, you have to establish jurisdiction.
Okay, we're back in the same circle. So we will put our list together at the next meeting if you want to listen to where we put it in, and if not, after the list is together, we will send it to you, and you can bring it up with Paul.
Okay, that's, okay.
Okay.
That sounds good. And then, that'll be the last time I'm on the agenda, or?
Well, depending what comes out of it.
So are you not gonna take me off the agenda unless I grant a site visit?
Well, that is certainly the fastest, easiest way.
A site visit.
But short of that, and when we believe that we do not have jurisdiction for any of a number of reasons, we don't have jurisdiction, then you come off the list.
Okay, so, but as of tonight, you don't know how to express how you have jurisdiction, so, but you think you do. But you can't tell me how. I'm just trying to understand. Is that an accurate
The
statement?
person who can best express that is not present tonight.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't wanna waste your time. I know you've had a long meeting, I'm sure already. Okay, I'll wait for your, for your follow-up then.
Okay.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Is there any other business before the commission?
Make a
Make your
motion.
favorite motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All with roll call.